This is the story of Haku. He lives in ancient Egypt at the time of Queen Cleopatra. His father Back has a small factory. He makes gold tables and chairs. Haku helps him. He is a fireboy. Every day he pushes a long handle up and down. The work is hot and very hard. But what can he and his father do? They are poor people, they need to make money. Every evening they sit beside the Nile. Back talks to his son about the factory, tomorrow's work, everything. One day we're going to be very rich, he tells Hapu. Are we? The fireboy looks into his father's tired eyes. Yes. Back smiles. I don't know how and I don't know when, but we are. Then he stands up. Come on, he says. It's late, let's go home. 3 days later, Pappu and Back are making a table. It's very hot in the room. Suddenly Back stops work. What is it, father? Pappu asks. Is something wrong? I don't know. Back answered. He closes his eyes. It's my head. I can't. And then he falls on the ground. Father. Hapu runs to Back and puts one hand under his head. Father, are you all right? The next day, Back stays in bed. I'm sorry, Hapu, he says. I want to work, but I can't. I'm ill. Hapu is very sad. Father works too hard, he thinks. That's why he's ill, we need more money. But what can I do then? He has an idea, of course. He thinks I must make something for somebody very rich, somebody like the Queen. Back is ill for 2 weeks. In that time, Hapu makes a lot of tables and chairs. But not only tables and chairs. He makes a gold necklace too. There, he thinks, late one night. It's ready. He smiles. The necklace is very beautiful. Queen Cleopatra is going to like this, Hapu thinks. She's going to pay a lot of money for it too. I know she is. The next morning he goes to Cleopatra's palace. The necklace is in a bag under his shirt. What do you want? Asks a palace guard. There are 2 guards. Each one has a sword. I want to see the queen, Hapu answers. Both guards laugh. Go home, boy, says one of them. Queen Cleopatra doesn't see people like you. Pu is very unhappy. What do I do now? He thinks. He leaves the palace and begins to walk home. But 10 minutes later he passes 2 men in the market. Cleopatra's women are coming here tomorrow morning, says one. They are arriving very early. They want to buy lots of new clothes for her. That's very good news, Hapu thinks. The next day the fireboy gets up very early. He makes a cup of sweet tea for Back, then he goes to the market. I can get the necklace to Cleopatra's women, he thinks. They can give it to the queen for me. He waits and waits. For a long time, nothing happens. Then music starts to play. A moment later, Pappu sees a long line of pupils. They are coming from the palace. 4 men are carrying a very beautiful chair. A woman is sitting in it. Haku puts one hand across his eyes. It's the queen. He thinks she's coming too. A minute later, Cleopatra arrives suddenly. Everyone is very quiet. Then Haku thinks this is the moment. He runs in front of Cleopatra's chair. Stop, he says. Please stop. The queen looks at him. What do you want? She asks. Haku gives her the necklace. Is this really your work? Asked Cleopatra. Yes, yes it is. A PU answers. Guard says. Cleopatra, give this boy some money. She holds the necklace in her hands. This is beautiful, she says. Then she leaves. Haku runs home. He is very, very happy. Back is in bed. Look, Haku says. He shows the money from Cleopatra's necklace to his father. But how? Back closes his eyes, then opens them again. I don't understand, he says. Haku smiles. He sits down and tells his father everything. At the end of the story, Back says, You're a good son, a PU. Thank you. That night, Haku looks up at the stars. Now I can pay for a doctor to visit father, he thinks. Then after father is strong again. But at that moment he stops. One of Cleopatra's guards is standing in front of him. He has a big sword. Are you Haku, son of Duck? He asks. Haku looks at him. Yes, yes, I am, he answers. Come with me, says the guard. Queen Cleopatra likes your work. She wants to give you a job at the palace. But I have a job, Haku says. I work with my father. I can't leave him. You don't understand. No, you don't understand, the guard says. When the queen gives you a job, you take it. He puts one hand on his sword. Now go and say goodbye to your father. At the palace, Cleopatra talks to Haku. She's wearing his necklace. I want you to live here and make lots of beautiful things for me. She says. Thank you, Queen of the Nile, Haku says, but the queen looks at Haku. But I can't live here. You see, my father's very ill, and Haku tells the queen everything. At the end of Hapu's story, Cleopatra looks at him. All right, she says, you can go home to your father. But, asks Hapu. But from today, the two of you work only for me. Do you understand? Oh, yes. Apple smiles. He is very happy now. He and his father can make lots of beautiful things and be rich. Yes, I understand.